Hey everybody, my name is Ryan Gromfner and I want to personally welcome you to the next Restaurant Bootcamp weekend. These Restaurant Bootcamp weekends are a chance for you to get something huge done off of your list. Think of it as a gift to yourself, a chance for you to disconnect from the world a little bit and focus, disconnect from your life, from your business, from all those distractions, and really focus on what's important to growing your restaurant, to setting up your strategy for success in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. And all along the way with the guidance of someone who knows this business inside and out. I've been in the restaurant business for close to 20 years and I've done everything from being a chef in 5-star hotels to operating pizza and burger joints in malls. I've opened nearly a dozen restaurants for myself and for clients, and I've seen everything there is in the restaurant business, from operating front of the house to back of the house to running 4 restaurants at the same time with nearly 80 employees. In case you don't know about me or my story, a few years back I was very busy. I was running 4 restaurants, and the owner of those restaurants was putting an enormous amount of pressure on both myself and my staff. In a matter of 24 hours, my chef and my pastry chef walked out completely. They wanted nothing to do with the restaurant or the owner or myself for that matter. And I was already working hard, but if you can imagine, I was really working hard at this point. I was putting in some very, very long hours. And see, I reflected back on some of the mistakes that I had made, and the biggest mistake I had made was my other restaurants at the time, the burger joint and the pizza restaurant, were running incredibly smooth because I had all the systems in place in those restaurants. We had recipes, we had procedures, we had opening and closing, rituals. They were all there, and so the assistant managers in those restaurants were doing an absolutely fantastic job. But when my chef and my pastry chef walked out of the restaurant, the finer dining, bistro setting restaurant, it put me in a very difficult position because we didn't have recipes for everything documented. We didn't have procedures. We didn't have systems. Every time I tried to manage my chef and pastry chef, I was told I was getting in the way. And I'm sure you can imagine I was quite busy at the time with the other restaurants and this new restaurant that I didn't want to push it too hard. I didn't want to rock the boat because I didn't want to have to do my job and their job. Well, here I was forced to do my job with my current responsibilities as well as theirs. And the next few months were quite hairy, to say the least. We were working some very long hours and it was very difficult. But when I rebuilt those restaurants and when we eventually rehired those positions, we rebuilt on my terms. We rebuilt with my systems. We had documented everything. And when I hired those positions back, they had walked into my system, and it completely freed me for the next couple years to run the business instead of working in it like I was before. You know, I've always been a student of business, but it wasn't until this happened that I realized how important the proven business strategies, the success models that other businesses have followed were to my restaurant. And so it was in that moment, it was in those hours and nights early into the morning that I was in the restaurant that I decided I wanted to help other restaurant owners because they were in similar situations that I was. And it was in those moments that I decided I wanted to branch out and I wanted to consult and I wanted to coach other restaurant owners on how they could develop the systems, on how they could learn from my mistakes and how they could put these systems and these strategies and these techniques to work into their restaurant so then they could enjoy the successes that I later enjoyed when I had that freedom, like I said, to be working on my business instead of just working in my business. So the first question I want to ask you is, are you working in your business or are you working on your business? And the second question I want to ask you is, when was the last time you actually took the time to completely disconnect, to set some time aside, to strategize, to think through the next days, weeks, and months in your restaurant, to really develop a formula for success for your restaurant? If you've done this in the past, how has it worked out for you? You know, we all set goals, we all have dreams, we all have visions, and we usually put our best foot forward, but they don't always work out exactly the way we wanted. What if I could show you a way to not only determine what's most important for you to be working on in your restaurant right now for the coming days, weeks, and months, but also a way to all but ensure that those tasks get checked off of your list and accomplished. Imagine for a second what kind of impact that would have on your business, on your employees' happiness, on your customers' satisfaction, on your life, and most importantly, on not just the quantity, but the quality of time you get to spend with your family. Well, that's exactly what we're gonna do over these next 5 sessions in this Restaurant Bootcamp weekend. First, we're gonna map out what's most important to you and your restaurant right now, And then I'm gonna show you the mistakes that most people make and why they almost set themselves up for failure before they even begin. Second, I'm gonna show you proven techniques that I use in my business and that I share with my private clients in their restaurant business. I'm gonna show you how to break down your goals into what I call these domino goals. And a domino goal is basically that one thing on your list, and we all have it, where the other 7 or 8 items on our list get knocked down when we focus and accomplish that one goal. Third, I'm gonna show you how to schedule these tasks into your calendars for the coming days, weeks, and months so they don't just move from one sheet of paper to another. All the while, I'm gonna be sharing with you real restaurant examples and sharing with you proven success strategies for your restaurant. This bootcamp weekend is set up so that there's time between our training strategies for you to actually get work done. You know, we're gonna go through exercises in these training sessions, in these 5 training sessions, and then I'm gonna expect you to take an hour or 2 between and go and do the actual work, and then come back and there's a chance for you to ask questions either live on the webinar or in the private Facebook group. You can post any questions. I'll be checking through it all throughout the weekend, and I'll be there to help you along the way. Like I said, this is a boot camp. The intention of this is that you show up ready to do work, and if you actually do the work, if you actually go through the exercises that I share with you in a few short hours over this one short weekend, you will have the map. You will have your strategy for success in your restaurant for 2014. Just imagine how that's gonna feel on Saturday afternoon to have that piece of paper and know that if you do what's on that list, you will accomplish your goals. You will accomplish the dreams and the visions and the successes that you set out to, that you deserve in your restaurant.